Yeah. Uh-huh. 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 Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah. Uh-huh. 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 Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I want to welcome you to today's edition of Good Grief. I am your spiritual thought leader, Regina L. Stillman, and I am joined by your able and capable hosts on today, Crazy Berry Town and Kim Possible 711. Good afternoon, ladies. How are you?
Good afternoon. Hey, everybody.
Yes. I want to say I appreciate you for being here, Joanna. We appreciate your presence. The Rebel Inc. Come on in. BTD Mom, so much love coming to you. Everybody that's here that may not be in the chat up to this point, thank you so much for being in the Lion's Den. I feel like I'm missing somebody here. I don't want to miss anybody, but welcome. And thank you to today's edition of Good Grief. And with that, I'm going to let my beautiful ladies take it away. Go right ahead.
Well, hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Happy Friday. Is anybody else glad it's the weekend or it's almost?
Lord, yes.
Woo! Man, make you want to shout. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm just glad. It's been a long week. It's always, so next week is my spring break. And the week before spring break, there's always lots of questions from students, lots of papers to grade and all that. So it's been a long week. I'm tired. Yeah. Yeah. So happy Friday, everyone. Welcome. Hey, Kim.
Hey, girl. Hey. I'm tired too. Yeah, I got a full weekend, so there is no rest for the weary.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I know it'll be wonderful, whatever you have going on.
I will be with 10, 12-year-olds this weekend.
Oh, God, no.
Lord Jesus.
Right. Like,
in
North
Georgia. In the mountains.
In the mountains? Oh,
in Clayton, Georgia, which is almost to another state line. I don't know which state it is. Is it Alabama, Tennessee? I don't know. But yeah, wow. Pray my strength in the Lord as I go.
Lord Jesus, please be with her.
Please, Lord.
Is it like a youth retreat or something? Or
It is our confirmation retreat for our young people that are going through confirmation. This is
Oh,
their weekend, their final this weekend. They will have marshmallow roasting and hot chocolate outside, but the weather is supposed to be really cold up there, like 20 degrees
Exactly.
in the low 20s. So I don't know how much of that we're gonna be doing outside, but
Yeah. Yeah. It's supposed to get really, really cold here. And
yeah.
tomorrow, like they're saying like dangerous winds. Like they're saying charge up your, your batteries and your flashlights, trees are gonna go down and all kinds of foolishness.
Oh wow. Oh
So,
well.
yeah. So bundle up
Okay.
more than you
Yeah.
think you need to bundle up. Please, please,
Yeah.
please. Yes.
Yeah.
wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
I'm
that's
trying
what tonight? Is
to
it
pack
tonight?
everything. We leave tonight.
Oh,
So I've
God.
got to drive up to the church, and then from there it's another 2.5 hours from there. And then we come back about 10 on Sunday morning for 11 o'clock service.
Mm-mm. No, ma'am.
Mhm.
I pray your strength and your sanity
See,
and warmth.
all of that.
That's
Yes.
it. Warmth. Yes.
Told one that she played hooky from that dastardly job. Listen, I know that's right. Oh, gosh.
How about you have to do that every now and again? You need a mental health day.
Need one.
So, sister, take it.
Gotta
It's
have
true.
one.
Yeah. You guys are so funny. Oh my
Mhm.
goodness. So I hope everybody's doing well. And let's see, the rebels. I do great impersonations. Oh my
What we
Lord.
trying to impersonate? What we doing? Oh, Lord,
Right.
I
Like, yeah, I know. Like, come on, come on. Up here on the StreamYard. Let's see it.
We need the
Oh, my
rebel for the
goodness.
commercial breaks, right?
Right, exactly. So how's everybody doing? Just like check in, let us know how you feeling today, everybody. It's a new month, and it's gonna be, I think we jump forward, spring forward on Sunday,
Yes,
I
we
think,
lose an
right?
hour. So on top of that, I will have one less hour of sleep.
Is that this Sunday? I'm glad
That
y'all
is this
It
Sunday.
is.
because I
Yeah.
missed it.
I didn't think about it till probably about an hour ago. I was like, wait a
Oh
minute, is that
Lord
this?
Jesus.
I just saw it at the
Yes.
top of the news. I just saw it at the top of the news. I never watch the news, but I was watching The Price is Right, my favorite show in life. And the coming up, how to, get your rest even after springing forward or something. I'm like, what the?
Oh
Who?
my
So I
God.
got on my phone and looked. I was like, oh, snap. I almost missed it too.
Lord
Mhm.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Yeah.
goodness. Oh, that's so sweet, Mac. I see that you say your little one loved the stream yesterday. Oh, that's so great. The littles love Zumba. And P.S. And by the way, for those who were there when I did my last Disney Zumba stream, that'll be coming up again soon. So if you have, it's for the Disney children of all ages. So if you are a child at heart or you're literally a child, it's a lot of fun. So it's all
Oh,
mashed
I
up.
need to be on that one. I
Yeah,
need to make
it's so
sure I know
fun.
when that
It's a
is.
lot of fun. I do all Disney songs, but mashed up to like a salsa or merengue. There's even a Let It Go bachata. So Mac, you can put that in your back pocket. At least have it in the back of your mind, and I'll let you all know when that's going to be. It's actually, I did it a while ago, and people keep asking about it, and I keep saying it's coming, but it really is. So look for that. Yeah,
That'll be cool. That'll be
yeah, it's a lot of fun. So what's happening with everyone? Let's see. You're all checking in, saying how you're doing. Kim, how you doing? You're getting ready, so you're probably focused on.
outside of all of that, I'm doing well. I'm doing
Good.
well. I'm looking on the bright side of it all.
Yeah.
I did decide to take the bus as opposed to me driving up these mountains. So I will literally
Oh,
be on the bus with the 10 children, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
you
I'm
like
going
the.
to think positively about it all.
Oh Lord! Yay! It will be. It will. Let's be positive. Yay! Rah
Yes.
rah!
It's gonna be so much fun. I can't
That's
hardly stand it.
right.
I'm
Yeah.
just ecstatic about it all.
No, right. Oh my word! And STL, how are you doing today, my doll?
Listen, I'm doing great. I'm gonna tell you what. Like I was sharing early this morning, it snowed here too. Royal Confessions, and good evening or good afternoon to everybody that's come in since I first greeted everyone. So glad to have you here in good grief. But yesterday we had snow here that started on the evening before. And I went out and shoveled my yard and sidewalk and my neighbors because my neighbor is older and single. And I was taught just be neighborly. If you got the shovel in your hand, shovel yours, shovel somebody else's too. So anyway, when I came back in and laid down, babies, I went to sleep at 3:30 and woke up at 10.
Wow. That was a good nap.
That's
my type of nap.
The motherboard was tired. You understand the word?
Motherboard was tired.
The motherboard was tired. The motherboard was tired. So at the end of the day, rested well, here nice and fresh today, and glad to be here with each of you.
Well, that's good. That's good. We're glad you're rested. And you're getting more snow. Is that what I hear? Now?
We are not here where I am. Royal Confession
says she's getting snow like crazy.
Yeah, that's down in Arkansas. And it's funny because they said we were going to have all this crazy weather here and it missed us the last go round and they got it down there. So you would have thought it would have been the flip of that. But listen, Arkansas is getting slammed here lately. So whatever's going on with them, they can keep it.
Yeah, true confessions. I was hoping it was going to do that here so I didn't have to go this weekend.
Listen, you should have told me in advance.
I really was. I was hoping that the snow was going to roll in to the ATL and up north, and they were going to say, we can't do it. I'm like, oh, man, we can't do it.
Darn.
But needless to say, it's just going to rain.
Yeah.
Like after we get there, which it'll be night lights out by the time we get there anyway.
See.
So yes, tall pups, the wheels on the bus go round and round.
Round and round, round and round, round and round. Hey, truck driver, DJ Hams, Teresa Jones. Glad to have every last one of you here. God bless you. All right.
Hey, everyone.
Hey. I'm loving
it. Just have you a water to whiskey instead of wine.
My guy. See?
They're gonna say something is wrong with the pastor. What is going on with Pastor Sinkfield? Something ain't quite right with Pastor Sinkfield this weekend, but okay.
Let's smell that flask.
No, this is my water from the Jordan River.
Right.
There you go. 90 proof.
Right. From river.
From river.
Wow, that's funny.
Oh, yeah.
So my birthday is coming up next week, and it's
Yes.
So
birthday turn up time.
I know, right? It's time to turn up. But to bring it to to talk about grief and such, since that's why we're here. I want to know from you, when it comes to your own birthday or special events or special dates, how does that make you feel? I'm 4 years out, my mom's passing, and it's always a time of reflection. I always think about the fun times we had, and she used to call me every birthday morning, the time I was born. And so as it gets closer to Wednesday, it's just not necessarily sad. I mean, a little bit sad, but just more reflective, I guess. And I just want to know from you, how, couple of things, like how does that, how do, like maybe your birthday, or maybe if it's someone you lost in, your spouse or a loved one, your spice, as they say, an anniversary. Do you feel sad? Do you feel reflective? Also, do you do something special maybe to mark that day? So just share, how you feel. How do you feel on those dates and those days that mean something to you, and you're feeling that heaviness of your loved one's absence? And that's what I feel. I feel heavy, not so much sad. I just know she's not here. And I think that's why too, I can't really figure out, like, I remember when she first passed, I didn't really want to celebrate. I felt bad. Like, I'm like, I shouldn't be celebrating. Like, why am I celebrating? She's not here, So it's not that anymore. But now I just feel overwhelmed sometimes So like people are like,
Mhm.
well, what are you gonna do next week? Wake up. I hope. I mean, I don't know. Like I'm like, I don't know what I want to do next week. And my husband wanted to send me away, like he not like in a like to the nut house, which is probably a likely thing one day, but um but he wanted to send me on a trip and I couldn't even figure out where I wanted to go or what I wanted to do and do I really need that? And I can't leave, just and I think all of it's kind of tied up in the grief a little bit and the loss. Just
Mhm.
I can't
Mhm.
celebrate myself
Mhm.
the way that I might have if she were alive. And I think it's kind of, y'all feel me? It's kind of tied up in there
Mhm.
somehow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, only one Miss Cox says she's dealing with all the first birthday, first
Mhm.
Easter, first Mother's Day without her mom.
Always hard.
Yeah, that's the firsts are always hard because you
Mhm.
remember everything. I mean, even if there was something on a Tuesday that you used to do
Ooh,
specific on a Tuesday with that person, then it becomes every Tuesday it's an issue.
yeah.
For me, it's been the special occasion. My birthday in particular, because one of the last birthdays that she spent with me, we had a meeting at church, and then she's like, "Okay, so I'm kidnapping you," and then she took me, and we spent the whole day together. This is my spiritual mom, and just had a great time.
Right.
And she wanted to see, I can't even remember this woman's name. Some woman that she had, like, it was on her bucket list of people she needed to see before she passed away. And we
Mm.
went to go see that one of those people. And
Mhm.
so we like, okay, that's one more thing we check off the list. Still not thinking that anything like her not being here was coming close, right?
Yeah.
Um, I do get sad around that time because especially when I have celebrations or just good news in general
Mm.
to share. Um,
It's a good one.
she's one of the first people I think about that I wanna call to
Mhm.
tell, and I can imagine how she's going to respond and
Yeah.
how excited she's going to be, and
Mm.
so, recently, it's been writing those things down. I've started journaling every day. I used to do that all the time, but this year I've started journaling, and so some of the things that haven't made it to the win phone have made it to my journal.
That's
And I
awesome.
would just tell her, like, I just somewhere in the midst of me journaling, just, hey, so and so happened this day. I know you'd be excited about that. I'm excited about that too. Just to acknowledge
Mhm.
that I've shared it with her, even though she's not here. Um,
I love that,
so,
writing it down. Yeah, that's good because 'cause you're kind of inviting them in a way.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's awesome.
my girlfriend Lakita's birthday was February the 11th. So I was in the Holy Land, but our sister circle did a Zoom birthday party for her
Oh.
because we know that she would have had an extravagant 50th birthday for
Mhm.
herself had she been here. So, they got together on Zoom, did all the stuff that they could, because people are all over in other states. So we didn't plan like for all of us to be together in person, but knowing that for her 40th, we were all together
Mhm.
and all that we did, because I literally got off a plane, drove another 2 hours to get to her for her 40th birthday. Uh,
Oh, that's nice.
so we did have a
Mhm.
a birthday party, a Zoom party for her in her honor, just to be together like we would have been together had
Mhm.
she been here. So, and that was helpful,
Yeah.
even though
I
I
love
wasn't
that.
there. I knew that they were doing it, and I got to see all the pictures and all the, got to talk to people about what y'all doing, what happened, and all that. So, kind of felt like I was there.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it's
Mhm.
nice that you have those memories, those fun memories to, reflect back on. And that's what I was saying too. Like I reflect on, as it gets closer, the days, weeks leading up. I think about, oh, that birthday we did such and such. And in my
Mhm.
40th birthday, my husband surprised me. He flew my mom in the night before. Um, so it was two surprises. He flew her in and she stayed with a friend. And then that next night, he threw a surprise birthday party for me. So I walked in, surprise, and it was my friends, my local friends and family. And then I'm like talking and hugging people, and I'm hugging someone and see her behind them and start crying and screaming, all of that. So it was like a double surprise. So I think about that
Mhm.
too, and
Mhm.
reflect on those fun times. I like that. I think it was DJ Ham said, you could go places, you have memories with her, And I've done that. I think last year we ate at, so I live in Atlanta now. She, I grew up in Connecticut and that's where she lived, but she was here a lot. And so memories all over the city. And one of her favorite restaurants here, or no, her only favorite restaurant here in Atlanta is Mary Mac's. And I ate there, I think the last 2 years on my birthday, because if she was here on my birthday, that's what I would say. I'd say, well, I know it's your favorite restaurant and it is my birthday, but we'll go because you love it, so I would go even though it was her, and I love it too. It's not necessarily my favorite, but that's how we would celebrate if she were ever here for my birthday. So the last 2 years we've done that, but I requested something different this year. So me and Captain Boots in the Hub are gonna go somewhere close by, actually in downtown Decatur. So maybe we'll do something else or go somewhere else that she loved and we made memories. So I think that's a great idea too. Kim, I love your idea of writing down some things that you did and and sort of talking to those people. Like I said, it's kind of a way of inviting them in to the celebration, so to speak. And Truck Driver said, he says he feels like his special day is a downer because on those days, me and my parents usually just make it a week thing, and then we do something special the whole week. Yeah, and that, it does feel heavy, when you don't have that, and that's kind of what I was thinking about how I feel a little bit, a little sad, a little, the first year, speaking of the first Mrs. Cox, only one Mrs. Cox, the first year, for me, every first, as I expected things to be really bad, like feel bad. Here's the problem. That first year I was numb. And when you're numb, so you get Novocaine, you get a root canal, you don't feel anything, right? And so that first year, I remember I kept thinking, oh, this Mother's Day, everybody's calling me, like freaking out, they're walking on eggshells, texting Tim, should we call her? Should we not? And I'm like, call me, let's chat, let's have a party. I didn't feel anything. I was numb. Where the pain really came in was the next year because the numbness had kind of worn off, the shock. Now, to me, the second Mother's Day, my second birthday, the second Thanksgiving, all of that, the seconds were the worst because I could feel it. And that kind of was weird. I was preparing and I was girded up for the first, and I kept, like, the day after or so, I was like, oh, well, that wasn't so bad, And then I realized I was just sort of on autopilot. It's kind of like almost like a zombie in a way.
Yeah.
So that was tricky too. Yeah, only one Mrs. Cox there. That's where she's at. She's, feeling numb, and I get that. And I'm not saying that it won't be bad those firsts, but again, numbness means you don't necessarily feel as much, maybe. And I was expected for a big meltdown, and I'm gonna cry through the whole first Mother's Day, the whole weekend, and all of that. And it was actually, we had a great time. My birthday that first year was great, all of that. But it's because I just didn't feel. But the second one was a hot mess, especially Mother's Day, because I was really upset. As you all know, those of you who are new here, I will say that I've been on the outs with God about my mom dying. And I was really aggravated the second Mother's Day because for years, Mother's Day, before I had Captain Boots, was miserable. We tried to get pregnant for 5 years. And in that 5 years, of course, everybody gets pregnant and there's baby showers and people having triplets and carrying on. And I was miserable. I'm like, how y'all just having babies? Like, what y'all doing? Like, and I'm here like spending thousands of dollars on treatments and I can't have a baby. So I finally get this amazing kid and make my mom a grandmother, and I'm a mom, and now I get to have all these amazing Mother's Days and whatever. And I got 4 before she passed, and I was pissed. So that second Mother's Day where I wasn't so numb, I was mad again. I'm like, I got 4 really good Mother's Day, and now I'm back to being sad. This sucks. So it was kind of it was a weird thing. It was a weird roller coaster. That second. All those seconds. Yeah. Wow. Grief is awful.
Yeah, grief
It-
is hard, and there's several different takes on all these different stages of grief, right? And so there's one that has 12 different things that you can go through, with shock being the first, and then numbness being the second, then
Yeah.
denial. And
Mhm.
again, you can go from one to another. So you could go from shock to this new pattern to depression, then back to numbness, then back to fear, then get angry, then you could go to being, in these emotional outbursts, then you could go to being, okay, I think I'm good now, and then go back to all of these things. So the point is, and I think we keep saying this every week, is that everybody's journey is so different. There's some similarities for sure, which is why it's important to really talk about it, so that you don't think that you're the only one, or that you're the only one feeling how you're feeling at this moment. Because at some point, somebody else has felt that way or is feeling that way right now.
Yeah.
Because again, every time I get another call, there's a woman at my old church, Miss Hattie. Love her. But every time the phone rings, it's usually because somebody has passed away at my old church. And so when she called last week, it was Miss Joan that had passed away. And I'm like, and I've even started looking at the phone, and when I pick up the phone, I'm like, okay, Hattie, who died? And so, as opposed to even saying hello, because I'm like, I need you to call me just to say hey, so that I can get out of this pattern of thinking that every time you call me, it's another person. And so when you've pastored people for 5 years, you've gotten to know their story, you've known you've known their health challenges, you've seen even feelings and things that have happened, and now they've passed on. That's another hit. That's another blow. That's another something. And it brings back the entire flood or entirety of people that you've lost in that space, or in the current space, or just in general. So the funeral was yesterday. I was unable to go because I had other stuff at my church. So I had to just kind of have my own moment of closure regarding her. Sweet woman. I mean, just, people get older, but that still doesn't make it any better.
Right. That's true.
So, it's a constant constant reminders of our immortality and the people that we've lost along the way.
Yeah. And those reminders, are also good, sort of what we talked about last week, about regret, and, sometimes, we get those little gentle nudges from God or whatever you want to say, the universe, whatever. And sometimes those little nudges are for us to, one, get our business affairs in order. It could be that, we said we will. At some point in the near future, we'll talk about that. It could be to make relationships right, right the wrongs, or even if it's not anything wrong, maybe just there's some distance. And so you're right, those little reminders, they do remind us of our own losses and the people we've lost. And then sometimes there's that, maybe another force at work as well, like a little nudge to take some action. And I thought about last week, I really thought about for a few days after, like the weekend, about regret. And, I really was, thinking, is there anybody I need to check on, or thing I need to turn around or whatever. And I really didn't, but there are people I just said I at least want to check on. My best friend's grandmother is really close to me, and I hadn't talked to her in a while. She's 98. She's amazing. Still goes to the casino and catches the bus from the beach and all that. But I started, let me just check on her. I hadn't talked to her in a while. So yeah, that, I didn't want to have a regret of, I kept saying I'm going to call her and I didn't. It's not a enormous regret, but I still would have that kind of pricking me a little bit, because I keep saying I'm going to call her. So last week, I swear I probably made, last weekend and then the beginning part of this week, I made probably about, and I called people, especially the older set, The texting, they don't really do that.
Mhm.
Although she does, she's 98 and she'll text me pictures and attachments and all kinds of stuff. She's a mess. But I called her because I wanted to hear her voice.
She is living her best life. That's what she is doing.
She really is. She turned 98. So I asked her, I said, Mama, what do you want for your birthday? She said, baby, I saw these sequin sneakers that's gonna match my tam. She wears tams, Well, my best friend sent me my best friend. So she sent her the sneakers. And so her mom lives in Connecticut and took a picture, and she sent me a picture of Mama, and she had like these little skinny jeans on and her little swim and her sequin sneakers, her red nails at the casino. But she's spry, and but some of her, just some physiological things she has no control over, get her down sometimes, and sometimes it's been kind of scary. And my best friend will call me and say, Mama's in the hospital, let's pray, and she always comes through. And I'll say, I'll call her. I'll call her when she gets home. And I never do. So last week, I probably made about 10 or 12 calls to people, just to say hey and to check in and just hear their voice, and for them to hear my voice. I pulled away from a lot of people when my mother died, particularly her friends, who would always check on me. My mom's friends were great because I was her only child, and they all kind of helped raise me. And so, even when she was alive, they would call me or send me an email or a text and just say, hey. And I pulled away from everyone because, bless their hearts, they just wanted to talk about her all the time, and I couldn't handle it. So I called a lot of them and checked on them. I felt good doing that, and I felt more connected back to my roots. And again, hopefully, I'll continue to do that, but there won't be any regrets of it, because all these people that I called, promise you, I've said for months, I'm going to call them months. And I just never did. So that was nice to reflect on our conversation last week and take that action, because it made me feel good too. And even hearing their voices felt warm and felt safe. Like I felt like I was talking to good folk, like family, so that was nice. Yeah, it was really nice.
That's good. Yeah, because I'll admit afterwards I was kind of like, was that too much last week? Are people okay?
Right.
I hope everybody's okay. All right, I think everybody's okay. I guess if not, we'll find out if they're not okay.
Right.
So
are y'all all right?
Y'all all right? I guess so. They're here this week, so I guess they're okay. All right.
I love that. He says procrastinate. The good thing about procrastination is you always have things to do tomorrow. Yeah, I'm the biggest procrastinator. Although that is the one thing that I attempted to say I was going to give up for Lent was procrastination. And so far, so good. Actually, I've been doing pretty good. Things I think about, I normally would put off. I get up, do it right away. So, except for in the middle of the night when I have to go to the bathroom, I was like, okay.
You know what? What is that about? Well, that's a whole other conversation we need to have, because I'm like, okay, just 5 more minutes. 5 5 more minutes. 10 more minutes.
That one I haven't licked yet, but I will get there. Maybe it's still Lent, so I got time. But let's see. I don't know. So we got some people saying, like Monica, I just called to say I love you. It's a song, my mama's song. She always sang, even when she didn't even know I needed it. Yeah, that's beautiful. Grateful for my dad's friends who check. Yeah, Joanna said that. Yeah, I very grateful for those because they're connections, right, to our loved ones. And I love my mom's friends for calling and checking on me. I mean, I ignored their calls, but I did appreciate it, and I appreciate that they thought about me. And I did answer the first few times, but when I realized that all they wanted to do, and it was not anything they were doing wrong at all, they missed her too. I just couldn't take the reminiscing and the memories. And when you were a little girl, your mom used to come over and we go swimming, and then I'm like, I can't, So yeah.
And I mean, I believe they understood that, because again, everybody's process is theirs, and they were just trying to make it through their process the best they knew how.
And I know that now, and again, and I really, really, really appreciate it, because I think we've mentioned this here, that grief can be kind of isolating too. You know, whether it is, in my case, self-isolation, like hiding from people, or people just sort of, you know, leave you alone, you know, for whatever reasons, you know, maybe they don't know what to say or do. You know, so yeah, I again, I appreciate it because they didn't just leave me hanging. It wasn't just about my mom. Okay, she's gone. Well, screw Tracy, you know, whatever. It wasn't that at all. And that made me feel special. And I want to show that love back to them while they're still here.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I mean, that's what has happened with us, because now our sister circle has taken on my friend Lakita's mother as our mother.
yeah.
So when I say she gets
Lovely.
overloaded with
Oh, yeah.
love and stuff from us, it's I think sometimes we can be a little bit overbearing to some degree, because she lives here. Her other daughter lives in Chicago. So
Mhm.
there was nobody else here but her daughter. That's why she moved down here. So, you know, right now, like, she's having some health challenges, so she had to go back to Chicago, but she's has every intent of moving back down here because she said, my other daughters are in Atlanta, so I have to go back.
Okay, gotcha.
Because she knows
Wow,
that at any given point, one of us is gonna be
that's
there or
beautiful.
be there for her, or she needs to go somewhere, she needs something, one of us is gonna show up.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a blessing. So I gained another mother in
Yeah.
the course of that situation.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's a blessing. That's a beautiful.
mhm,
Yeah. And
yeah,
again,
because
you know, sometimes loss, you know, you sort of turn it on its nose a little bit. You know, there's some things, some good things,
mhm,
if you are open to seeing them, that do come out of it. You know,
mhm,
whether it's
mhm,
personal growth, you know, or forging new or relationships that were there, but maybe strengthening those relationships,
mhm,
all kinds of
mhm.
things
Yeah,
kind of come out of that.
yeah.
Um,
One of my
so with
high school classmates years ago, I can't even remember, that's probably been about 10 years ago, her sister was murdered.
mm,
And our entire high school class kind of rallied around her because
wow.
no, they haven't ever caught anybody who did it, right? And actually, one of our guy classmates who had had a similar situation with a cousin, the two of them began to talk, and they're married now.
Mm,
So that grief
okay.
brought them together as a
Wow.
couple. Yeah, I
See,
was like,
that
wow. Like we
something.
looked up one day and was like, okay, so what's going on over
Right.
there with
Something's
y'all?
happening.
And then when, of course, the testimony comes out, I was like, he started checking on me like daily because he knew what that was like to
Oh,
have lost someone in that way. And that type of loss brought them together.
yeah.
And
Wow.
they've both been married now probably 6 years.
Oh, wow.
Mhm,
That's nice. That is
mhm,
really nice. Monica, that's beautiful that you still check in on your mom's friends and they still know
mhm,
you. That's beautiful. Again,
mhm,
forging and
mhm,
strengthening those relationships, you know, and now
mhm,
that, you know, your mom is gone, the same in my case, you know, those relationships, you know, kind of take on a different life, you know, without that, the connector there. Um,
mhm.
so
Yep.
that's really nice that you do that still, and they probably look forward to it. I'm sure
Mhm,
they do. You know,
mhm,
I just think about the calls that I made last week and the joy that I heard in their voices, and it really my spirit leapt. Like I really felt so good. A couple of times Captain Boots was near me, so he got to say hi, and of course they love that. You know, hearing his voice, and so it was just nice to do that. It felt good, and I didn't make any promises of when I called them back, but I did say I'd be in touch.
mhm.
But I want to, like, I want to be in touch and check on them from time to time because it
Mhm.
felt really nice. And, you know, the good thing when you have a kid, you know, you got a reason to get off the phone quick. Oh, he needs me. Okay. Because they can go, you know, some of them can go. You know, I was like, oh, okay, y'all just keep talking, you know. So
DJ Ham said, "Is Captain Boots on his birth certificate?"
it needs to be, but it's not. No. That's just his nickname because he loves boots, and and he's quite the guy. So yeah, so I don't even know who gave him that name. But it's been years, like since he was like 2, and he had these little red boots that he wore everywhere. I mean, it's summertime. We're going to swim practice. He has on boots. The first time he got them and he gets in the tub with his boots on, he's like, well, they're rain boots. They're supposed to get not in the tub. Okay. So the kids. So now he has cowboy boots. He's moved from the rain boots to cowboy boots that he wore the cowboy boots to California last summer in July. It was hot. Cowboy boots. But anyway.
That
So
actually may have been the style in California, so he would have fit right in. That actually might have been the style in California, so
yeah,
you know,
kind of anything goes, you know, right?
Right.
He does have capes. He thinks he's a ninja, y'all. He's into this ninja stuff now. So he 9 times out of 10, he'll come home from school, put on his pajamas and boots and a cape. And he has all these like swords, or he'll take anything, literally an umbrella. I'm looking around the house now, anything, and make it a ninja weapon. And that's kind of how we live around here. So literally it's Crazy Berry Town nonstop. Yeah.
So he hasn't seen the Incredibles, the first Incredibles then?
He has. Yes, he has. We've seen both.
Edna said no capes.
Right. I love Miss Edna.
Well, Miss Edna said no capes because that could be detrimental to you. You don't want your cape to get caught up in something.
To get caught, right. Well, listen, in his house, it's only him and his imaginary buddies or whatever. So, because
I'm just saying,
every now and then I'll play with him, but I'm just like, dude, I'm tired. You know, I ain't got time for this.
Look, I remember as an only child, my parents being sick of me. It's like, okay, can you?
Oh, I know.
Okay, maybe we do need to have another child so she'll have somebody else to play with because we are over it.
I know it. I know if I were, you know, so you know, if I were a little bit, I mean, I always said I only wanted one my whole life. I wanted to be a mother with one child, like me and my mom. That's all I wanted. Skip a husband. I didn't even care about that at the time when I was thinking about life. I don't need a husband, whatever. Because as a kid, though, right? As a kid, like I reflected back, like when I was in high school and college, I reflected thinking, dang, like I had an amazing life. My mom, it was just me and her with my family and her, you know, her friends, my family friends. But when I just peel it all away, it was just me and her. And that's what I wanted for the rest of my life. I wanted to be a mother like she was to me, to one kid, that's it. And I felt at the time like that was fine. Like it was okay. It was okay. And I had great examples of married relationships in my life. My aunts and uncles were married, you know, and all that. But I felt like I have a great life, and it was just my mom. And of course, now being an adult, I know how hard it was for her and how hard she worked and all of that. But as a kid, you know, I don't know, you all probably remember, like, you know, you're in high school or whatever, you're middle school, and when I get 25, I'm gonna be married and I'm gonna have my first kid at 27 and a half, and then we're gonna get a dog and a house, and at 28, I'm gonna have my second kid. I said, I don't want to be married, and I just want to have a kid, period, end of story. And my friends all laughed at me, but I was dead serious. I just wanted to be my mom. That's it. I wanted to be her. And I was the first to get married out of my group of friends. So that was kind of ironic.
That's usually how it happens. The one that doesn't want to get married is the first one.
That's exactly how it is. That's exactly how it is.
Those of us that had that list and, you know, these dates and all that, some of us are still waiting on that.
I know. Yeah. They still crack up about that, especially because we just celebrated our 20th anniversary. And so we got married before all of my friends by a long shot. So like my next friends, they didn't get married till like 8 years later. So they get tickled by the old married couple in the group. So. Yeah.
That's funny.
Let's see. So DJ Ham says it's great being an uncle. Right, you can give them that. I know, right? Yeah, Captain Boots was home with me for 2 days this week. He had a cold, and so the second day, his coughing had gone down, and so I was like, "You out of here," because I'm sick of all of this. For lunch, what do you want for lunch, Trey? You know, I'm thinking in my mind a little sandwich, or what he would take to school, like turkey pastrami, or you know, whatever. I like to have clam chowder and pigs in the blanket. Say what? What are you doing?
He's like, I'm home. Surely you could cook for me.
I was like, you out of here. You going to school tomorrow. I don't care. You out. I can't take this.
Like, I know you working from home, but you can still cook.
Right. That's exactly what he was thinking. Yeah. It's exactly. He was like, well, I'll have that at school. I want pigs in a blanket and clam chowder. Okay. All right. Okay. So, but of course, that's what we had because I was like, I kind of want that too. So we did.
See, that's where he gets it from.
I know, but I was aggravated making it though. But it sure did. And he was, and this is him too. Like he's on Food Network or something. And don't forget to brush the pigs in the blanket with honey butter, like you always do. Go to school. You better.
That's funny. That's funny.
An entire mess. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that's my life. Crazy Berry Town, nonstop. What time is it? Okay. So last thing I was thinking about. So I'm not saying this is going to happen this week, but sometimes when someone passes, you do, for whatever reasons, you do impulsive things, or sometimes you think about doing things that might to some seem a little Looney Tunes. And so, as my birthday is approaching, I've always said I'm never getting a tattoo, like not for any negative reason. It's just, I don't like pain. So I love seeing other people's tattoos. If I could take it, my whole body would be tatted. I have sleeves on both arms. I think tattoos are amazing and beautiful. I'm just a punk when it comes to pain. However, now that my mom has passed, I felt like I wanted to do something that I would never do to honor her. And so I've been thinking about getting a little tattoo in cursive that just says Cece. That's what Trey called her, Cece. So just CICI in cursive, really tiny, like on my wrist, on my right hand, so that I could cover my heart and she's there. But I'm, like I said, I'm a wimp. So I want to know.
I'll go with you.
You'll go with me.
I'll go with you. I'll hold your other hand while you get it done.
And it'll be like really, literally, I want it very, very small. So it wouldn't even, in my mind, I'm thinking it's probably not going to be that bad, but I don't know. So I want to know if any of you have done anything that you might feel, or you might have thought others might think is impulsive or kind of out there a little bit. The one thing that I did do for sure, and I think I mentioned this, I don't know if I said this on stream or just to you, STL and Kim, is that I Monica said it's gonna hurt, right? That's what people say.
You'll be okay. Okay.
So anyway, but the one thing I did do is I contacted a medium right after my mom died, my first birthday after she passed, so March 2018, and I just booked today another appointment with her for my birthday on Wednesday. So I'll keep you posted next week and let you know what she says. But I remember, other than my husband, this sounds bad. He might even be here, but I'm not gonna say he knows better, but he knows, like, once I get my mind set to something. So he might have thought this is ridiculous and cray cray, but he knew I was suffering really, really bad and I needed something. But my friends who are not ashamed to express themselves to me were like, "Are you nuts? Like, what do you mean you contacted a medium for what? Like, what?" Like, so I want to know from you all if you've done anything impulsively that you thought was fine, but maybe when you step back and think, people are gonna think I'm a little cuckoo. I don't know. Had I just watched Ghost? No. Oh, find a tattoo.
I don't think she had.
No, I was in a grief group on Instagram, and she was a part of it. She wasn't promoting her business, but it's in her name, medium, whatever her name. And she was in it to offer, what, and I mean, and her name was an obvious promotion, I guess, because I clicked on her name. And I saw it right after my mom died, but I did not make an appointment until that March. My mom died in August, so I followed her for months and months and months. I'm going to do it. I booked the appointment, canceled it, called her on the phone to talk to her about it. I said, "This is ridiculous. I'm nuts. I can't do this. This is crazy." Rebooked, canceled again, and then I finally did it March 2018. So it was amazing. I mean, I talk about that another day, but for me, it was yeah, it was awesome. And I won't say life changing, but it was definitely. I didn't know what to expect, but I needed something. I was really, really in a bad place. I was really suffering with grief and being crippled almost. Um, and I just needed that. And so my friends, I love them, and that's why we're friends, because we can talk to each other like that. But they literally were like, "You're cuckoo." So- but I can't be the only one that has done something, in the I guess the aftermath of grief, where you just feel, you just got to do something or get something out or change something. Maybe you cut your hair or you dyed it or whatever. I don't know. Um, I don't know. Let's see. Catching up in the chat
DJ
here.
Ham is in full effect today.
Yeah. Johanna, you said we switched lives. Maybe I should say okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that I've done anything out of grief. I mean, the only thing the only thing that I had to do in order to get peace about, or even to go to sleep with Lakita, was just I had to figure out why. And so I had to, whether it was true or not in that moment, I had to make up a reasonable explanation as to why she was no longer here.
Gotcha.
And so
Yeah.
after the fact, it still sucks, but
Right.
I don't know that I've done anything that has been deemed just out of sorts for me.
Yeah.
But the tattoo idea, I definitely would probably do something like that.
Yeah.
Because I was supposed to do it when I turned 30 and chickened out because I was scared.
See?
It was going to hurt.
I feel you.
And then I was like, all of us chickened out. And the one person that was going to get a belly button piercing was the only person that went. And I was like,
oh my God.
Yeah, that was worse than anything that a tattoo probably could have been.
Right. That's a whole different level. A belly button pierce.
Well, she had a bunch of piercings. She had, I don't know how many in this ear, and then probably 5 over here. And then she wanted to get the belly button thing done. And I was like, okay, girl, go for it. And she did.
Wow.
And we all were like,
guts. I mean, I lost sleep the night before, both nights before, or actually because I got the booster too, before I got the vaccine. I couldn't sleep because of the shot. I'm like, I'm getting a needle. I can't sleep. So yeah, I'm a mess. Yeah, I don't like needles. I don't like pain. Joanna said, for my mom, I resented Mother's Day from when I was 13, and I wondered when I would be a mom. When I let go, I had my daughter. Yeah, that's a good point. And letting go. And sometimes that's how I ended up having my son. In my mind, I believe that we tried and like focused and took temperatures and all that kind of stuff and charts and times of the day and waking up in the middle of the night. It's time, all of that foolishness. And we just finally quit. We're like, I can't, I'm tired. I can't, I'm sad. It was too much. And we quit. And 2 months later, I was pregnant. We just quit thinking about it in that way, like, to get pregnant and paying this money and go on a doctor's appointment. So I can totally identify with that, Johanna. So DJ Hams, I'm assuming you don't have any tattoos because you said you have too much hair. So I'm assuming you don't have any. And the only one, Mrs. Cox, so you want a tattoo also? Yeah. Monica, the loss of my 21-year-old son makes me want to do something out of the norm. Yeah. Good point, Tall Pumps. I guess I wonder what your why is. Does the medium speak to your loved one and answer questions? I guess I would be hesitant about their authenticity. Yeah, so that's partly why I was hesitant, because I didn't understand what would happen. But once I decided to do it, I still didn't know what would happen. I was just curious. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm not ashamed. You all know I'm for the most part pretty transparent. I was desperate. For a break, like something. Just I don't know what I needed. I just needed something to shake up the pain, or I don't know. I just needed something. And but so what happened, in a nutshell, is so I told her, she said she didn't want to know who I was looking to talk to, or to hear from. And so she said, when we start, she said, it's not like you're getting a phone and you're calling heaven and saying, hey, I want to talk to Cece. It doesn't work like that. When she goes into that place, those who are anybody that's connected to you could show up, as she says. Those are her words, show up. And it may not be the person that you want to hear from. So she recommended doing it on a day or a time of year that's special to you and that loved one you want to hear from. Well, I was like, well, no better time than my birthday when I came out of her guts, come on. So I was like, you can't get any more connected than that. And she showed up along with other people. My grandfather came through, uncle, even my mother-in-law, my husband's mother, was there also. But she said anybody that's connected to you could come forth. And yes, and so you ask questions, and then she'll also relay messages from that person. And there are lots of things. I was through my tears and crying and of really like disbelief, like I can't believe this is happening. I took a lot of notes, and it was her. It was my mom, for sure. No doubt about it. This woman knew nothing about me other than my first name and my credit card number. What little bit at the time, my Instagram was private, so she couldn't have gotten anything from me there. And she didn't want to know anything. She said, don't tell me anything. And if after 5 minutes, the person that you're looking for doesn't come through, then tell me that person's name. And then those people who did come through, maybe they can sort of spur that person to come through. But my mom showed up immediately. But yeah, there was a lot of hesitancy, but now I have no doubt now. So that's why I'm doing it again. I haven't been able to do it the past 2 years because I always want to do it on my birthday. And one year she wasn't doing them. She took off because of COVID or whatever, even though it was virtual, but she was just out because she was sick and all kinds of stuff. And then last year she was booked already. So, but I only want to do it on my birthday or her birthday. So yeah, it was her. And those other people that came through too, that she gave me lots of confirmation that those were who those people were. And yeah, Monica. So Monica says, Pastor, how do you feel about mediums? Yeah.
I this is the thing, and people will be just absolutely heartless mad at me, but it's the same thing church people do when they go to church for a word of prophecy. So I don't get entangled in that whole debate and discussion that people want to go through, because at the end of the day, it's the same. So, even though many people will not acknowledge that, they're going and they're wanting to see the prophet and the man and woman of God because they want a word from the Lord 99% of the time. And they will go from location to location to location seeking a word. And so it's amazing to me sometimes that there's that great divide that we like to make between the two. And I know the divide that we'll say one is the spirit of God, the other is the spirit of the devil, and all the places that people go with that. So at the end of the day, I feel like when God gives people gifts, those gifts come from God. And that's my personal opinion. Any gifts come from God.
Yeah, I would agree, because one, is it helpful? And you got to test the fruit. You got to test the spirit by the spirit. And so what is the fruit of what you received? And so you explaining how it occurred. She knew nothing about you. You did not give her any additional information. And you were able to discern that what she's speaking is something that my mother would have said or would know, or all of that. So how are you using the gift that God has given you? Are you using it for evil, or are you using it for good?
Because there are people in the pulpit that are using it for evil.
That's right.
While
that
people
is
are
correct.
on that point, there are a whole lot of people that are using their gift for evil from the pulpit in the church, but we don't want to deal with that. But that's a whole nother topic.
Yep.
That's a whole nother topic.
Yes, yes, and yes.
Yeah, true that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought about that. I think that was a lot of the reason why I was hung up on personally what I have learned. I'm not going to say I believed it. I'll just say what I was taught. There are a lot of things that I've been taught, secular or religiously, that I was just taught. Didn't necessarily believe, but it was my hang up though. Like, I've been taught this is what this means. And full truth here, I would, people would talk. I would see things on TV and little sitcoms and shows and stuff, and people would have seances and all this stuff. And I'd be like, oh my God, they're not, like, this is cray. Like, I don't believe in that. But again, I'm telling you, the way my grief was set up, listen, I'm not going to say what I would or would not have done. All I know is I was in a bad place. And when I went to her IG page and saw the testimonies of people, my spirit leapt. Like, I felt like that's like, I think I need that. I think. And then, of course, I got in my head, you can't do that. You're a Christian and you love Jesus. And you might be mad right now at the Lord, but you still, in the kingdom, And then I also thought too, what are other people going to think? Once I got over, and honestly, y'all, once I got over it, for me, like, okay, yes, I'm a Christian, whatever, but this is what I want to do. What took even longer, I was still hung up on what others would think.
Right.
And I was really stressed out about that. And I didn't really tell a lot of people, even after I did it. Of course, my husband knew, because when he came home, my eyes were swollen from crying. And but then also I felt joy because, he got like a blessing on the side because his mom came through. I totally was not expecting that. And he supported me. He has seen me at my darkest moment. He was there. Obviously, I got a call in the middle of the night in bed, laying next to him, and it was traumatic. And he said, "Do whatever you have to do to be well, and I will support that." And that's, my husband's my husband. I love him. We've been married 20 years, and his opinion, of course, mattered to me. And once I really heard that, I was like, well, I'm doing it. And and I don't regret it. So, again, so much so that I'm doing it again on Wednesday. I'm meeting with her on Wednesday morning. So yeah. Yeah, you're right, Tall Pumps. What others think of us is none of our business. You're right. Right. And I had to get over that. I had to gotta go. Bye, DJ Hams. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for stopping by.
But yeah, you're right. You're right. But again, I was in that place, thinking about that. And it's weird because in normal times, I really never have been concerned about what other people think about. And I'm back to that position now. I don't really, I'm not gonna say I don't care, but it's not like I don't make my decisions based on that. But for some reason, in that space and in those moments of thinking about whether I was going to do this or not, I was just not me. I really wasn't. Because even Tim, even my husband said, he said, you shouldn't be worried about what I think. He's like, I appreciate you want my opinion, but you got to do what's right for you, and if you have done your research and you feel comfortable paying this woman to do, then you do you. And he was even shocked, like, you're really worried about what other people think? Like, girl, bye. But you're right. It's not any of our business what people think of us. And I'm so glad
Christianity has a way of making us feel some kind of way.
True.
Because I have, I've not shared this publicly, but I've had dreams of both Miss Webb and my grandmother and Lakita, where I've had conversations with them in my dreams. Conversations with Lakita twice. My grandmother, I was in college, so she passed away when I was in college. And then Miss Webb, I saw her, and I was able to see her. And so I have peace about it now.
Yeah.
Before I didn't have peace. I had peace, but I really didn't have peace.
Gotcha.
But God knew what I needed in order for me to have this peace. And I mean, my dream with Lakita, I swear it was like happening right in front of me. We were dancing like we always do.
Oh.
And I went to go grab her hand and she was like, no, you cannot touch me. And I was like, what? And I woke up and I realized, was that real?
Right.
What was that? And then another dream, she was on one side of a wall. I was on the other side of a wall.
Wow.
And so she waved and I waved. And I was like, okay. And another girlfriend of mine has also had a dream about her. So can I explain that? No. Do I think it's unreal? No, I don't. It was very real to me.
Mhm.
And my grandmother, actually, the guy that I dated in college, I had a dream that he proposed to me in my parents' den,
Mhm.
and my parents were there, and my grandmother appeared in the doorway, dressed in white, shining and glowing, was like,
Oh,
"No!" And I
no
was like,
way.
and then she
Oh,
went
wow.
down the hallway to my bedroom. I followed her into my bedroom, and when I opened my bedroom door, it was just lit up in a way that I have never seen or
Mm.
experienced before.
Wow.
And I was like, "Well, I know not to marry him for
Right.
sure, because
Okay.
I would
Wow.
have. That was my college sweetheart, so I would have married him."
Mhm.
And so evidently my grandmother knew something that she was like, "No, no, no, don't let this happen.
Right.
On my watch, don't let this happen. This is my last direction to you. Do not let this happen."
Mhm.
And so I didn't let it happen. And actually, he was going to propose. His side way of proposing was kind of crazy. And the way I answered, he took that to mean no. So he never did even propose. So I was like, what? And then that dream came back to me. I'm like, well, I would probably say no anyway
Mhm. Even if he
because
didn't.
of that
Yeah.
dream. So I do have dreams that,
Yeah.
foretell certain things and all of that. So when I
Mhm.
have dreams like that, I'm just kind of like, okay. Mhm.
Yeah.
So the gifts that God gives are without repentance.
Yeah. I like that. Like Johanna said, dreams seem so realistic. Yes, I used to dream
Mhm,
about my mom and wake up and think,
mhm,
"Wow, she's gone for real." Yeah,
mhm.
yeah. And I think I've had some of those dreams too, and we can continue this part of the conversation next week if you all want to, especially if others you have stories to share or examples. But before the medium, I had some similar dreams, and we're cut close for time. But because of those dreams and me believing it too, like you said, Kim, sort of why I was open. After I got over the God thing, the religion thing. I can't do this because I'm a Christian. And then I stopped and thought, like, I have had those dreams where I feel like those persons, like my dad and my aunt, and my uncle, I feel like they were in my house, like sitting next to me, whatever, really, like for real. And then I wake up and think that was a dream. That was so real. It was so real.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
thinking back to those times, again, kind of made continue to open my mind about meeting with the medium. I said, there's got to be something there, and I'll give it. Like I said, I'll give it a try. So,
Yeah.
so I mean, if you all have some ideas, not ideas, but if you have some stories or examples, the more I talk about this to people about dreams and things like that. Some people say ghosts, or whatever. Not to be spooky, but that's the term some friends have used with me. And we realize the similarities in some of these experiences, but we can piggyback on this next week. Um, and I'll give you an update on what happens on Wednesday. We'll see.
Mhm, mhm.
Hopefully she'll come through. It's my birthday, so we are closely connected, obviously, and I just hope she does. And we'll see if anybody else. Maybe my brother might. He passed in May 2020, so um, we'll see. I'll let you know. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. I want to thank you for being transparent enough to share that, because there is that stigma that is attached with the idea that you went to a medium, and to
Mhm.
be bold enough to do it first and foremost, and then to be bold enough to share it. That's another boldness right there. So I am just so honored that you trusted us enough to share that with us. And by all means, no negativity here. So
Yeah.
for anybody that has issues about that, that's a whole nother hurdle that I encourage you to work through in yourself. But thank you for trusting us with that. And I appreciate that by all means. Thank you so much. Man, this has just been a great time. I hate to go. I know that we've got folks that are going to meet us over in the Discord channel for the afterglow and the after show. It's just such a beautiful time that we have over there with Crazy Berry Town and with Kim Possible 711 sharing and listening. And it's just a beautiful thing. So we invite you to come over there. We will be there in the STL Cafe video or voice and join us there. We'll be right there immediately after this setting. Thank you guys so much, because you always do such a beautiful job. I just want to thank everybody that came in and sat and chatted, and for those that had to come and go, and for those that are still here, thank you very much. It's always a blessing to come in, good grief. And with that, I'm going to leave it to our two hosts to really close us out, and then I'll meet you over in Discord.
Yeah. Well, thanks again, everyone. I just put in the chat, thanks to all for being here. I hope you have an amazing weekend. As I always say, try to find the joy in something every single day. I know you can do it. And we'll see you next week. Thank you all so much.
And ditto to what Crazy Berry Town said. And I'll just add peace and grace for your journey.
There you go. I love you so much. See you in Discord. And for those that we usually end right here. We don't raid out anywhere because we do have the after show that goes on in Discord. So I want to say again, as Kim Possible said, peace for your journey. And we love you, and we'll see you next time. God bless you.